needs to get figured out. Uh, so I'll get started with setting up of development tools. I'll just sort of take you through the slides which have the information on this, and then sort of I'll just do a quick demo showing you sort of things around the development tools. The basic sort of premise I've taken is that you're working with Eclipse. I found a lot of it to be the most common and easily used. There are ways of working on command line also, sort of using other editors. So those instructions are all available on developer.android.com. But I'll assume that sort of Eclipse is the choice here. So you need to have Eclipse installed. Then there is this SDK starter package which can be installed from developer.android.com. Once you have this SDK starter package, you need to put in the Eclipse plugin. So there's a Android development tool plugin for Eclipse, which is what basically makes things extremely easy. And the way to install any plugin on Eclipse is basically very simple. You just go to the help, install new software, and you'll need to add a new repository there. And the repository usually sort of has a name, and there's a URL that you need to provide from where the plugin can be downloaded. The instructions after that are pretty straightforward and simple, and you follow them. The same tool then lets you basically also upgrade and the software as new versions come out. So the Eclipse, the SDK starter package, and then the plugin for Eclipse. Now the starter package primarily installs a few things. So it installs Android SDK and AVD manager, and it installs some SDK tools. But beyond that, we just need to run the Android SDK and AVD manager to get a lot of other tools installed. So this is a screenshot of the SDK and AVD manager, which primarily has two functions. One is to manage the SDK packages, and the other is to manage the virtual devices or the emulators that Android provides. Now the SDK consists of few things. So there are SDK tools, which are basically the debugger, the SQLite tools, the testing tools, the Android manager itself that get installed. Then we require one of the platforms. So basically some version of the SDK platform against which we are going to build. And usually the recommendation is to pick the latest and start your development, and then sort of based on your need, based on your understanding, and as that grows, you can pick and choose the right target. Beyond that, sort of there are USB drivers that are available if you want to do device debugging on Windows. A lot of documentation and a lot of samples are available if you want to install them, and sort of they're optional, but depends on what you want to see. Once you have